Hey guys, welcome to Guitar Lessons with Rhapsody, and welcome to week 1 of an 8-week course. And I'm so excited to teach you guys guitar. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so first things first, we're going to talk about supplies you guys will be needing for this course for the next 8 lessons. You guys will be needing 1, a guitar, 2, a capo, and 3, a guitar pick. Now if you don't already own any of that stuff, totally okay. I've actually provided a couple links and resources in the description below of this video so you guys, with the parents' permission, can order that stuff so you guys can have it so you guys can follow along. But until then, you can just, listen and watch, and then once you guys get your instrument, you can go back and watch them again and you guys can try it for yourself. Another link that I gave you guys is to a book called Pick Up and Play Guitar Chords, See It, Hear It by Jake Jackson. It's incredibly resourceful. It comes with an app when you download the book, so you can download the app and it gives you a lot of cool features that you can play along with and such. And it's actually the book that I'm going to be using a lot of examples from when I am teaching you guys chords in the next couple videos. But this week, I am going to be doing a couple of question and answers and just an introductory to get you guys ready for the course and what to expect and what's going to happen. So without further ado, we're going to start with some question and answers. Alright, the parts of the guitar are as follows. So up here, this whole entire thing is called the headstock. These little silver knobs right here are called the tuning machine heads. And then these little guys right here are called the tuning pegs. Now moving down, we have this little white line right here. This is called the nut. Then moving forward, we have what are called frets. They look just like the nut, except for they are silver instead of white. And then the black in between each fret is called a fretboard. Moving on, this whole entire piece is called a neck. And now on most guitars, you have a little bolt sticking out of the guitar right around here, and that's called the strap bolt. My guitar does not have one, which is totally okay. Sometimes they don't. And instead, I actually tie my strap up here above the nut. Then moving down, we have our body of the guitar, which is this whole piece right here. And this is also called the top because most guitars, when you put them in a resting position, they either sit like this or they sit up. So this is the top of the guitar. And then we have our sides, which are right here. And then moving forward, we have our bridge, which is this little wood piece right here that goes all the way down to the bottom right here. And then we have what is called a saddle, which is the white pieces up here. Now, we obviously have our strings, but the strings go over top of the sound hole. And that's where the vibrations from the strings actually go into the wood frame and they come out, and that's what makes the guitar sound. This piece right here is called the pick guard, and that's used so when you're playing with guitar pick, your pick doesn't strike up against your guitar and then cause scratches and things like that. Alright, so that's the parts of the guitar. Now, if that was a little too fast for you guys, I will actually provide a diagram in the next picture that you see, so you guys can pause the screen really quick and you guys can check it out for yourselves more in depth if it was a little too fast for you or you weren't entirely sure on some things. So that will be provided right here. What are the strings on guitar? So going from the bottom to the top towards you, we have the skinniest string going to the thickest string. We have an E, B, followed by a G, followed by a D, followed by A, and then back to E. So, what is a capo? What exactly is it used for? So, a capo is an instrument tool that is basically used to change the key of a song so that when you are performing a song that is a little too high or a little too low for you to sing, you can actually transpose it to a different key so that you can actually sing the song more comfortably in your voice range. So, how exactly do you put them on a guitar? So let's say that you are playing a song that says put the capo on the 4th fret. Now what it means by that is you don't want to put it directly on top of the fret bars itself. You want to put it a little bit behind so that way it gets a nice crisp sound, so it's not, very staticky and it's not very plucky. It's just very nice and just very smooth. Now, if it's a little bit back here or it's a little bit wonky and you put it on not quite right and it sounds a little bit off, that means you just need to readjust it and make sure that all the strings are covered and then it's in that right little nook spot right there behind the fret bar itself. What is a guitar pick and what exactly is it used for? So a guitar pick is a little piece of plastic or sometimes wood or metal or even cardboard or whatever material that you can find that is basically in the shape of a triangle that you hold in between your thumb and your finger just like so. Or some people can hold it like a pencil or whatever is more comfortable for you. I've always been taught like this. And then you take it and you strum it across the string. When you do that, it helps get the sound a lot more amplified and a lot easier to understand. It's not quite as murky. And I'll give you guys a quick example of what happens when you don't play with it, which is not a bad thing. But when you play with your thumb, for example, or your fingers, it can be very quiet and very subtle. I can talk over it pretty easily and you can hear me clear as day. But when you're playing a live show, they prefer to use a pick because then you can play right on top of it and then you guys can hear it clear as day and there's nobody in the background saying, "What was she playing again?" So that is the importance of a pick. Now that we've gone over the parts of the guitar, the strings, the capo, and the pick and what they're used for, we're now going to talk about strumming. So if you guys want to go ahead and pick up your guitar, if you don't already have it in your lap, ready to go ahead and pick it up now. And you guys are going to want to sit up straight, just like this, or if you're standing, you want to stand up straight. And whether your legs are uncrossed or crossed, you are going to simply just sit like this, arms straight, and you guys are going to, for right now, you guys can follow along with me. We're not going to play any chords yet, but you guys are going to have your arms sitting just like this. So you want like kind of like a little triangle going on right here. And you guys are going to want to just simply now, in case you're a little bit confused, what I'm doing is I'm using a little bit of wrist and a little bit of forearm movement, but I'm not using my entire arm to play. And I'm keeping my arm in that same position so that way the strums go directly over the sound hole, so that way they are not up on the frets and they are not down here towards the saddle. Otherwise, the sound gets a little bit murky and it's a little bit harder to hear, or sometimes they'll mess up the chords that you're playing. And yeah, so if you guys want to follow me, you're just going to go down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. So down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. And that's just a simple pattern that you guys can practice really quickly. So if you guys want to try that on your own, go ahead and pause the video and try that. Alright guys, so the first example that you guys are going to be practicing on your own during your own free time for the next week or so until we meet again for our next lesson is going to be on strumming, and then next week we'll start working on some chords. So, first strum pattern that I want you guys to practice is as follows. You guys can just rest your hand up here on the neck. You don't have to play any strings or push down any strings yet. You guys are going to do as follows. When you see an arrow pointing down, you're going to strum down. When you see an arrow pointing up, you're going to strum up. Got it good? Alright, so the first pattern is as follows. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now I know it's a little fast and a little confusing, so it's going to go again, okay? Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now if you notice, you guys know a little bit of music theory already, is that when I'm strumming down, that's called the downbeat, and that's going to be where your numbers come in when you're counting for a time signature, such as this one, which is 4/4. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are your downbeats. When you add in the upbeats, which are the ands, you get the whole entire piece, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Make sense? Alright, that is the first drum pattern I want you guys to practice. Alright guys, so the next one I want you guys to practice for the next week or so until we meet again is going to be very similar to the first exercise when it went 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But the only difference is when you get to that and right after the 2 and the 3, you're actually going to hold out for what is known as a tie. So a tie is when you are going to simply hold the note. You're not going to strum down on that 3. You're going to just go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's a little bit trickier, but you're not going to strum down on that 3. So, practicing with me, go a little bit slower. We're going to go like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Got it? We're going to speed up a little bit. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Make sense? All right. I want you guys to practice those for the next week or so, and I will see you guys soon, and I can't wait to teach you guys some chords.